Getting an employment permit after you're done studying can seem like a lot of work. Plus, you have all these people who are giving their own inputs, and some people can even try to scare you. And I'm not gonna lie, even I was scared initially because I thought it's a lot of work and a lot of documents, and oh my god, it's just very freaky. But and also you have all these third-party companies who basically help you get an employment permit, meaning they'll ask for all the documents you need so that and they'll actually go through your application and see if there is a mistake and correct you so that you don't have a rejection for your employment permit. But honestly speaking, I don't think that is necessary at all, and they even charge you like a fortune. So I don't think that is necessary because I applied for my employment permit and it took about 30 minutes to apply, and it didn't even get rejected. I got it in one shot. So in this video I'm going to explain and walk you through how I apply for my employment permit and what all documents you'll need. So hey guys, I'm Sushma and welcome to my channel, The Wee Vibe. So there are two main employment permits that an international student can apply here in Ireland. So the first thing is Critical Skills Employment Permit and the second one is General Employment Permit. So in this video, I'm just going to focus on Critical Skills Employment Permit and walk you through each and everything that you need to know about it. So first of all, who is eligible to apply for a Critical Skills Employment Permit? So if your job falls in the list of Critical Skills Occupation list and if your annual salary is 32,000 euros or more, then you can apply for one. Otherwise, if your annual salary is more than 64,000 euros, then and your job does not fall in the Critical Skills Occupation list job, even then you can apply for a Critical Skills Employment Permit. And apart from that, you should also have a degree or higher qualification to apply for one. So this is the Critical Skills Occupation list, and I'm gonna leave a link to this right below in the description. Do check that out. And I'm not gonna run through each and every category and employment here which is present in this table. I'm just going to say how you can look at this table and figure out if your job falls under any of these categories and if you are eligible to apply for a Critical Skills Employment Permit. So as you can see here in the table, you have employment category and employments. So under employment category, you have the broader employment category, and here on the right side of it you have the specialism, which is basically the specific skills in the employment, which just allows you to get an critical employments permit. So as you can see, there is a whole lot of categories and whole lot of special skills, which is mentioned on the right side here. And I'm just going to go through one of these, which is information technology and telecommunication professionals, because this is the exact one which I applied for. So here, as you can see, the broader category says information technology and telecommunications professionals, and on the right hand side you have all these subcategories or special skills, which only, and if your job falls in any of these special skills, only then you can apply for an employment permit. So it has IT specialist managers, IT project and program managers, IT business analysts, architects and system designers, programmers and software development professionals. That is actually a very broad skill, because a lot of programmers, I mean all sort of programmers basically fall in this category, and web design and development professionals and all the ICT professionals not elsewhere classified. So mine actually falls under programmers and software development professionals and also web design and development professionals, I guess. And okay, when I started, my role was also project manager. So well, it fits in these three categories. So that is how I knew that my job basically falls under Critical Skills Employment Permit. So that is how you decide if your job falls under employment permit. So if you're an international student here, then you are already under stamp 2 visa, so you don't have to do anything else apart from meeting all these requirements. But if you are not here in Ireland and if you don't have any stamp or two or any visa here in Ireland, then you'll have to apply for a job, then give the interview, get selected, get an offer letter from the company, and only then you can apply for the employment permit. And also you should be employed directly by one of the Ireland company, so one of the traders here in Ireland who are basically registered under revenue.ie, which is the revenue system for Ireland. But if you are coming through any of the recruitment agencies or something, then you can't apply for this employment permit. Also, your job offer must be for more than 2 years or more, only then you can apply for the employment permit. and the company where you got a job offer from has more than 50% of non-EU, that is non-European internationals working for them, then you can't apply for the critical skills employment permit. So, how can you apply for an employment permit? Either you or your employer can apply for an employment permit on EPOS, which is basically Employment Permit Online System. And if your employer agrees to sponsor your employment permit, then that is great news because otherwise you'll have to pay €1,000, which is the fee. And if your employer sponsors, they'll be paying for the employment permit. And also, there is a checklist which basically lists all the documents you'll need when you're applying for the employment permit. So looking at the checklist here, you have employer details and you can get all these details only from your company. So go to your manager and get all these details if you're applying for it. So you'll need employer registered number, ERN number, and then you have company or business registered address. And then you'll also need the name of the company, the registered name of the company, and the type of the company, nature of business, and number of European nationals working in the company, and number of non-European nationals working in the company, and also the name, position in company, phone number, and all the basic details of the employer. So you'll need to provide this. And moving on, you have employee details, which is your details, and you'll have to provide. I think this is one of the easiest parts of the application because this is all dependent on you. You just have to provide your own data. So you'll have to give your name, date of birth, gender, nationality, current address, telephone number, email address, and PPS number. So if you're in Ireland, you already are familiar with PPS number, and without this number, you can't work here. So you'll need that. But if you are not in Ireland, if you're applying for employment permit directly, so then you'll need not specify that. And your passport number and expire data, so basically all the details of your passport. And then if you have a GNIB or IRP card, then you'll have to provide the details of that as well. And that is it, and details of all the previous visas and employments in the state. And then moving on, you have details of employment, so your title of the job, your roles and responsibilities. So that roles and duties and responsibilities, I think you can just go to your job ad, so where you saw your job. So mostly they would have the detailed duties and responsibilities for the role, so just copy and paste that here. And then location of employment, and also job offer, start date and end date, which should be at least 2 years or more, and also all the qualifications you have for this role. And if you have any previous experience or something in this particular role, or any employment details. And then you have pay details, where you have to give your annual salary amount, hourly and weekly pay rates, and number of hours you work each week, and details of all the deduction, and if any deduction is taken for the health insurance. So you'll have to mention all this. And paying for the permit, like I mentioned before, if you are applying it on your own, then you'll have to provide all these details, and you have to pay €1,000. And also you'll have to provide your card details, obviously. And then agent details, so if you're going to any third party agents to apply for the employment permit, then you'll have to give their details as well. So once you're done applying for your employment permit, if your application gets rejected, then you can submit for a review of your application within 28 days of rejection. So when they have rejected your application, they'll give specific reasons. So if you think that is not right, and if you can justify it, you can just go back and submit for a review. And also if your application gets rejected, you will get 90% of the money back, which is like €900. You'll get €900 back. And once you're done applying, so it might take anywhere from a month or two for you to hear back from them. So luckily for me, I heard back from them like 28 or 30 days, almost a month since I applied. And they came back asking for me to sign on my contract. So once I signed it and submitted the application, then it got approved literally in one day. So once your employment permit gets approved, then you'll have to stay in the company for at least 12 months. So you can't change your jobs before that, unless there is some emergency and some criticality and you'll have to change your job. So unless that you can't change your job, so you'll have to stick with your employer for at least 12 months. And if you want to change your job after 12 months, then once you change your job, you'll have to get a new employment permit from the new employer, or you can apply for a new employment permit, but you'll have to pay €1,000 again. So the best thing to do is just stick with the employer for 2 years, and then once you get stamp for, so employment permit, critical employment permit, you can get it for 2 years. So once 2 years is done, you can apply for stamp 4 visa, and once you get your stamp 4 visa, you don't need any employment permit to work in Ireland. You can just keep changing jobs as and when you please. So I would suggest that you stick with the employers for 2 years and then think about changing the jobs. But if you have to change, then stay there for 12 months, and then when you change your jobs, then somehow convince your new employer to sponsor 4-year visa so you don't have to pay 1,000 euros again. Unfortunately, if you lose your job or something, then you'll have to notify Department of Jobs and within 28 days of your dismissal, and they'll give you an extra 6 months to find a new job. And once you're done finding a new job, you can apply for a critical skills employment permit again. Even if the job does not fall in the critical skills occupation list, you can still apply for a critical skills employment permit. I think that is really great. So once you get your stamp 1, which is the critical skills employment permit, then you can bring your family members here as well, but each of them, they'll need their own visa. So you can apply for a partner visa, a dependent visa, or a partner employment visa. So if you're getting your spouse or a partner, then they can get a stamp 1G, which basically lets them work here without needing a work permit, and they can apply for an employment permit later on. So that is all there is you need to know about the critical skills employment permit. And once you get this permit, you can apply for a stamp 1 visa, and if you are getting a critical employment skills permit, then you have to stay in stamp 1 for 2 years, and then you can apply for a stamp 4, which basically lets you work in Ireland without needing any employment permit. So that is it for this video. Let me know what you think about the video right below in this description, and if you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon as well so that you can get notified whenever I post something new. So I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Until then, bye bye bye.